I'm just kidding. I'm not recording an apology video. Okay, so guys, let's get into the video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about obesity in 2020 and in the culture and whatever. Okay, I'm talking about obesity. So first, before I start, so people don't get mad at me, I know that there's a huge genetic component that plays in when it comes to obesity, because for majority of human history, our bodies have been engineered to stop us from malnutrition. So our bodies were designed to store high energy with little amount of food. I understand that. And I also understand that, it's for some people, it's a lot harder to lose weight because of high insulin resistance, hereditary family genes that make them very obese. I understand. So first, I'm going to explain my personal experiences with this so you can understand my view of it at the moment. You can understand, why I'm weighing in on such a topic like this. So let me get into it. Okay. So my family is very obese. My extended family, majority of my family is either extremely overweight or extremely underweight. We have two completely different body types. I have a cousin who can't even finish a McDonald's meal, and I just eat the rest of it. It's like so little, and they struggle with being underweight. But then the rest of my family, they struggle from being extremely overweight. And I think part of it is the genetics. We've got bad genetics. That's all I gotta say. We've got high insulin resistance. It's really difficult for us to lose weight. And I know, because right now I think I have 15 family members trying to lose weight, and I'm talking about like weight that could bump when you enter a door, that kind of weight. It's terribly high. And I see my family members struggle with stuff like, heart disease, high blood pressure, possible cardiovascular cancer. It's all this terrible, terrible stuff that they suffer from. And I personally suffered from it because my childhood, I've been mostly obese, extremely high body fat. And I struggled with stuff like hypertension, which is, I think, stage 1 of high blood pressure. And it's been an endless battle for me too. And the reason I lost my weight was because I got into wrestling and just high cardiovascular activities, which, I got lucky because there's not a lot of programs out there that people could get into that could 4 hours of just high exercise intensity. And I was really dedicated to it. I loved wrestling so much. So that's how I lost my weight. But a lot of my other family members are very unlucky. I understand the huge component of weight loss is diet. So let me get into the video. The social aspect. I do not like how people are, how do I say this, encouraging people to be overweight. Now, hold on. I'm not saying that, people who are overweight should be treated differently, discriminated against, be rude to, because I've been overweight most of my life, and I got terribly bullied. I got terribly bullied when I was in school in India. I got terribly bullied when I was in school in Canada and in Japan. Terrible bullying because I was fat. And, kids are kids. Kids are going to be mean. They'll bully you for anything. But I got bullied for being fat, and I understand how painful that stuff is. But that encouraged me to lose weight. But I know it's not as easy as that. But I don't think we need to have a culture that protects you and says, oh, being overweight is fine. And I'm talking about obese. I'm not talking about your, like old Joe over there, Bob with the beer belly kind of stuff. I'm talking about big chungus among us. That's what I'm talking about. Can't enter a door kind of fat, that kind of stuff. The moment it starts reaching 600 lb life kind of stuff. I'm talking about that. I don't think we should be encouraging that. And there's certainly, I notice a push from Hollywood, these media types, these women's magazines that show these extremely obese women, and they're like, this is my body, fat acceptance, health at every size. And they're just encouraging just a terrible, hedonistic lifestyle. Whenever you want to eat something, just eat it, don't lose weight. It's blame the food companies, blame your genetics, blame, at a certain point, personal responsibility. It's really difficult. People who have bad genetics, very prone to extremely rapid weight gain, they need responsibility. People are born with different struggles in life. people with these kinds of genetics, this is going to be one of the struggles they have to endure in life. Some people are born with lower IQ. Some are born with higher IQ. Some are born with bad health. Some are born with good health. This is just the way the world is. And if you're born with bad genetics and you know that it's very easy for you to gain weight, you have to put the work in. So I've put the work in. Let me explain how I've dealt with it. What I did was extremely high exercise, which is really not good for you for a long-term plan. You need a diet. That's what you need. Proper diet, clean food, not white bread, white rice, all this simple carbohydrates. I'm talking about lean meat, vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, asparagus, just lean eating, clean. I understand this is very difficult because, our society is mainly around food. So when you go out with friends, social gatherings, it's always around food, meetups, when you go to restaurants, even when you go to someone's house, you're offered food. It's a very, very difficult, society. It's very difficult if you're easily prone to fat. So all I'm saying in this video is, you can't encourage being obese. It's not a good thing. You shouldn't teach children this. We need to go to our physical education classes in high school and push, not even in middle school, push the teachers to help, change your curriculum so they can teach you about diet, how to manage your weight. Because let's be realistic. In high school, when you're running, doing 50 push-ups, you got all the time in the world to do that. But when you enter the real world, where you have a job, you got bills to pay, and things get difficult, and you can no longer work out, people are like, oh, I gained weight because I'm not working out as much. No, it's the food. The only reason you weren't fat in high school is because you were working out so much and you had such a high metabolism because you were a teenager that you didn't gain the weight. Now that your metabolism is gone, you're just going to start gaining weight and you're like, oh, it's because I'm not working out. No, it's not. It's the food. So I think high schools need to start teaching. Schools all over the world need to teach people proper eating, proper dieting, proper exercise, how to live a healthy life. But we can no longer do that because now there's this rising movement that's like, oh, you can't say that. That's fat phobic. That's just ridiculous. Come on. Let's be realistic. I mean, I was fat most of my life. That fat phobic is just a race card without, a race. People don't choose. Okay, let me phrase this very, very carefully. There is a certain degree of personal responsibility when you gain weight. When you're fat, a certain degree of it is personal responsibility. I understand that genetics has a huge factor to play. I understand that. But at a certain point, only you're responsible for yourself. Let's be realistic here. So there is a certain genetic factor, but let's take some responsibility. But people nowadays, they just don't want to take responsibility, for almost everything. If you fail, you can blame, your employer. You can blame the person who taught you. You can blame your upbringing. You can blame where you were born. If you're fat, you can blame your genetics. You can blame. It's just people keep blaming other people, and it's time to take personal responsibility. This is philosophically, this isn't all about weight gain. That's not where it all lies. It lies in a much bigger issue where people refuse to take responsibility for their own actions. People are not taking responsibility for it. That's all I'm saying. The solution, because, complaining about a problem with no solution, that's just not helpful. Solution is go to your high schools, tell your PE teachers to help teach how to eat healthy, how to live healthier lives after high school, how to live healthier lives once your schooling is done. Because people need that, People really are uneducated on weight loss and maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Very uneducated on it. So that was my point. Please, if you can, go to your local high school. Push your PE teachers to help start teaching these stuff so people learn. So, that was the video, guys. Thank you very much for listening. Peace out. God bless.